Hello everyone, this is Lee Lemon, and I'm with my friend, comedian nico러스머건머와.
Oh, you pronounced it right that time.
Oh, great. So, I actually have two different kinds of soju that I brought on my visit to Nick. And the interesting thing about these two sojus is they are made by the same company. It is the same type of soju, but they have a different variation. Sort of like a Budweiser and a Budweiser Light, or Budweiser with lime, Budweiser Select, that sort of thing. They're all Budweiser, but they're a little bit different. The thing is that while people have a affinity for one over the other, I've never actually tasted them side by side, and I can't think of anyone who has, or who can really think of a different way to describe it, or why they choose to prefer one over the other. So, since Nick has never had any soju, I thought it might be a good idea for his totally fresh palate to try to help us discern which one is different. Now, they do have different names, which I'm not going to talk about until after, simply because I don't want any of these to affect his opinion, and he's also not going to see which one I'm pouring for him. So, while I go ahead and handle one of these, if you can maybe tell us a story about your most awkward drinking experience.
Okay, so let's cut back a few years. I wasn't a big drinker as a teenager. I didn't start drinking until I was, in my early 20s. And on one particular occasion, I remember it as the first time that I ever drank absinthe. I don't remember the night, so the awkwardness was the next morning when I woke up with patches of hair missing from my body and war paint made out of my own blood covering my entire face. Looked like the Union Jack.
Oh,
fantastic.
Like
the red on the British flag, yeah.
I like how you were probably going for some kind of solid idea.
Geometric,
symmetrical,
and I was
and
able to, so it was the cross and then the X and
Yeah, did you ever figure out what prompted you? What were you warring against?
I cut the tip of my finger off slicing lemons, and I don't even know I was slicing lemons, we were drinking absinthe. But I decided that since I already had a paintbrush, that I should play with a canvas. And the prettiest thing in the house that I could find was my face. So,
yeah. Very fantastic. Yeah. Wow. Great. So these are poured and ready to drink.
Okay.
So we're not going to do these as a shot.
No.
We're just going to taste them and try to explain what it is that we taste.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and...
And what do Koreans say?
They say kanbei, or they can say jan.
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 Which just means glass. So
Okay.
jan. Yeah.
Kanbei.
All right. Yeah, there we go. So what is your impression of that?
Okay, so it's very mild. There's not a strong flavour. It's almost like vodka, but with water. Like,
okay.
Yeah, like
a watered down
whatever
vodka?
whatever it's mixed
Okay.
with, it's not a strong flavour, and but it's a little bit like vodka, like a spirit like that, a clear spirit. I'd go probably vodka more than white rum.
Okay.
Is what it's closer to, but it's different along that same spectrum. So like a clear, well, it obviously is clear, although we've got brown glasses.
Brown glasses don't help, but you can tell it is clear.
But it's tastes very, very mild, very subtle.
So it's a subtle flavor. Do you think it's a bitter flavor, a sweet flavor, salty flavor?
No, neither.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not bitter. It's not sweet. It's not salty. It tastes like booze, but mild.
Okay.
Very, very mild booze.
I will disagree.
Hints of booze.
I think it is a little sweet, actually. I think it is sweeter than a vodka. Do you get any kind of aftertaste?
No, like that's the main difference to me between this and vodka.
Okay.
I think that like vodka has sort of a burny aftertaste when you drink it straight, whereas
Okay.
this, no burny aftertaste. It's just like the first hit of vodka without the the burny.
Okay. For me, since I'm more accustomed to drinking soju, I will say this does taste somewhat bitter. It kind of leaves your mouth dry.
Yeah, I'm noticing that.
Yeah. So it's sort of a dry mouth kind of feeling with a little bit of bitterness to it. Not in a negative way, it's just since we're analyzing it. You know.
It's actually very enjoyable. Like, if I could imagine this being
actually,
very
this would have
deadly.
been really nice in the lemon drink you made.
We're drinking the Lee Lemon. It has 3 sources of lemon in it.
So we put Super Lemon by the Nobel candy. Nobel, I'm not sure how to pronounce that one. It's a Japanese candy company, and they make this delicious lemon. We also have Harry Lemon, which is an effervescent energy tablet. And then we also have some lemonade, like store brand lemonade, right? Mm-hmm. Is that store brand? Kohl's?
It's Coles brand.
Kohl's brand.
We have Coles in Australia.
And then we put
down, stand down.
Australia. So we also have it with some nice Jack John Daniels, a knockoff,
Yes.
right? John Dorman.
John Daniels.
Yeah, John Daniels was
Yeah.
a nice knockoff.
But this is very nice. I could
Yeah,
totally...
this would have been really nice
I
with
could
the,
drink this a lot.
Yeah, that's the dangerous part about it. So let's go ahead and knock it back. So we have some water just for us to clean out the glass a little bit. A little more. So, do you have any other terrible stories about alcohol and adventures thereof?
Yes.
Want to pour the next one?
Yes, yeah. So you pick the next one, and okay, so a little while after waking up to my face painted with my own blood, missing patches of hair from my chest, I woke up on my friend's jetty out the back of his house. And upon re-entering the house...
What is a jetty?
A jetty is like a pier, like where you'd park a boat.
Okay.
Yeah, he was parked on a canal. His house was on a canal. And upon entering his house from the backyard, I discovered that his fridge was missing. And upon re-examining my steps, it appears that I had, as a thank you for him forcing me to drink an entire litre of whiskey, threw his fridge in the canal. So, yeah.
Did he get upset?
Not even a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, he's very understanding.
That's
Shout out to Lincoln if you're watching.
Pretty fantastic stuff. All right, so here we got the second one.
Cheers.
Should we? I'm wondering, should we?
Gumbe.
Should we have drank water? I'll just rinse it out with the
With
refreshing
booze.
flavor of
yes,
lemon.
with the refreshing flavour of lemon. That's what'll cleanse the palate.
I'll just drink more soju to cleanse it. It's so light.
It is. It's like slightly alcoholic water.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a slightly alcoholic water.
Okay, so
All
I'm
right,
ready
let's
for
give
this
it a
one.
shot.
Even milder.
Even milder. you
Even
think so?
milder.
Okay.
Yep. Very similar. Even less of an aftertaste than the first one. The first one had almost no aftertaste. I reckon this, like, nothing on my tongue. So that's,
Really?
yeah.
It's strange. I'm actually thinking this one's a little bit harsher.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I found this one to be more bitter. More of an alcohol taste right away.
More bitter and upfront, but less on the tail
You
end.
think so?
Yeah. Less of an aftertaste.
Less of an aftertaste.
Yeah,
but
so
more.
this one you get it on the front, whereas the other one you get it on the back. You get a slight aftertaste, but almost no foretaste. That's why it's like water. This, you taste the booze up front, and then it turns to water. So.
Yeah, I will say this is not a sweet taste. This is a cleaner taste, I think. But definitely, the first one I think you would. I think the first one you could hide in a mixed
Very
drink,
easily, because
but
there's
this
no
one,
aftertaste.
You would have to do a little bit difference
little
of proportion.
aftertaste.
Yeah.
Whereas this
So-
one, because you can taste it off the front, you'd have to be more careful. You know what I reckon would be a really good drink? Half and half.
What is it, like half and half, like half
No,
cream?
No, like half regular soju and half the other one.
So half one and half the other.
Yeah, I reckon that'd be, because then you get it on the front and on the back.
Oh god, well let's test it. I've never,
No, yeah.
I mean, we can.
Because we've got half. We have a half left, so we're going to top it up with the other one, and we're going to tell you what a mix tastes like.
All right, let's give it a shot.
So what a mix is.
I'm actually scared.
Done.
Yeah.
That is lovely.
It sweetened it up just enough. I think that's a nice idea.
Yep.
All right, so the first one that we consumed was the Chamiseul Classic, and the second one was the Chamiseul Fresh. And actually, you know what? I was more partial to the Fresh before we did this, and I think from now on, if I order it, I'm going to order the Classic because I think this one is a little bit more, because the Classic is something you want to taste first, you know. So by the time you're finished, you're going to say, well, let's try the other one. But you're already affected a little bit. You're already a little drunk. So I think that must have clouded my my judgment as far as the taste went. Because I always defaulted to the Fresh, but actually I don't quite care for it tasting it on its own. But I do care for the Classic.
Yes, I agree.
So what
the
do
classic,
you think? The Classic is better?
Classic over Fresh, I reckon. But they're both a real mild drink. So if you're in Korea, go fucking nuts.
I mean, yeah, I'm not going to be, you know, if I go to a grill or something, I'm not going to be distraught if they only have one of them over the other, especially since Koreans are such fans of mixing it with beer. Do you have beer? We can mix it with beer.
We have beer. We have Australian beer and
beer.
a Chinese beer. We have one Chinese beer.
Fuck, because we want to try them on their own. Maybe we can Do you want to mix just to try the soju and the beer together since we're doing soju?
Do you want to do it as a
Let's
video?
do it. Let's do
Crack
it right
open.
now. Let's pause the video and then we'll crack it open. Yeah. All right, we're back and we have James Squire 150 Lashes Pale Ale.
Pale ale.
The reason that I chose the pale ale is simply because Korean beer tends to be on the lighter side, and you know I love Korea, but their beer not very good. Sorry.
I prefer the darker beers, but since we're sticking Korean, we'll go with the pale
we're
ale.
doing we're trying this way here. So what we're doing is something called Mikju. Somek. Mikju is beer, and soju is soju. So somek is soju mikju. So all you have to do is take your beer, and we just dump some. Oh, you drank?
Yes, I drank mine.
Let's use this.
We're drinking.
Sorry.
Drink.
So all right, fine. So we'll do a whole fucking shot. Fuck you.
Okay.
Dump that bastard right in there. And see what you think of the old Somek.
Jan.
Done. It's alright, isn't it?
Tastes like beer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't taste the soju.
Yeah, it's gone.
It masks it completely.
It's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
soju, it's so mild. Yeah, it's just increased the alcohol content a little.
That's all it does.
It's like that time I put a shot of vodka in a beer because I wanted to get there quicker.
That's exactly why they do it. Yeah, because
Same
nobody likes the flavor of soju and nobody likes the taste of beer in Korea. So they just
Mix them.
mix the two together, and somehow it actually works out really well. I don't. Korean beer is not super awesome. I do like height dry finish, but every time I say the name, it sounds like a really uncomfortable porn. So it's a little bit awkward. But otherwise, if you mix the two, it actually tastes pretty good.
Not bad.
Yeah, so there's that. So anyway, the Chamiseul Classic, for anybody that's curious, is 20.1% alcohol. And the Chamiseul Fresh, where are we at? Son of a bitch, where are you at?
No, it doesn't say.
18.5.
There we go.
Interesting. The one that tastes more alcohol-y is actually 2% less.
Interesting.
I don't know what happened.
Can
but
I?
anyway,
Can we finish by me teaching you an Australian drinking colloquialism?
Okay.
All right. You ready? Cheers, big ears.
Cheers.
And then you chug it.
Oh. Actually, in Korea, they sell these T-shirts with the Playboy logo. The Playboy bunny, and it just says "Cheers, big ears."
Aww.
So I thought it meant like, "Oh, this is cute because the ears are big." I had no idea. So it's "Cheers, big ears," and then. All right.
Awesome.
Well, that's that. So, do you have any parting words?
Yes. Follow me on Twitter. I'm at nico러smorganmore.
I'll put all that
That's my
information
name.
in the details section.
Do that on a podcast. IFS, the podcast, the Imaginary Friend Show, Dope Comb Podcast. Give it a listen. I'm on there.
Okay. That's it. So if you are interested in Nick and his humorousness.
And if you live in Queensland, come see me do comedy.
There you go. Fantastic.
Give me a follow. I'll tell you where.
Alrighty. It's the basement.
It's a It's my basement.
It's the basement.
Yeah.
where
Cover
he's
charges. I put this collar on you and you stay forever.
Oh, exactly. All right. Well, as always, thanks for listening.